and welcome to Conscious Curiosities, where we unlock the wisdom of the universe which lives within us. I'm Maria Luz, your host, an astrologer, psychic medium, and certified hypnotist. Today's episode is entitled Goodbye for Now. And first, I want to say I'm so grateful to all of you who have been listening from the beginning. Those are probably my closest friends. And for anyone else who's found me, it's because there is something here for you. So I hope that whatever you have found out about yourself or about the universe, that you keep exploring that and following that intuition. For the last few months, I've been feeling called to simplify. I'm also still healing from this hyper productivity culture that so many of us were raised in and that I spent decades in. And I went on a solo retreat just this past week, and I reached some clarity on what, I guess it sounds maybe too self-important, but but what my unique gifts are, and that I need to follow my heart and really be brave enough to share those instead of maybe putting out there what is easy and what my conditioned mind is telling me, to do to make it easier for people to find me. So, at least for now, I'm just paring down where it makes sense to do so. And the podcast is one of those. Um, and I will continue to publish weekly astrology content, much the same as I have been here on the podcast. I started writing out in a little more, polished format, these companion pieces for the podcast, and I've been putting those over on my Substack. And so, what I have found is that Substack has this amazing text to audio player that's just embedded in every single post. You can just click on this little play button on the top right, and it will read it to you in a really enjoyable voice, like an audiobook. Um, so it's almost just the universe is handing me this gift to have you mosey on over there. And it's at Maria Luz O'Rourke at Substack. And my Substack there is called Astrology, Alchemy, and Honest Recovery. So if you want to continue journeying with me, just head over there. I think you'll find that quite a few astrologers or writers that you already follow are over on Substack. Um, Honestly, the my spirit guides told me to be there last, gosh, the very maybe the end of 2023 or beginning of 2024. So people were really confused as to what I was doing, but I trusted my spirit guides, and um, I just, I even started the podcast over there before I moved it to Buzzsprout, and then, uh, had the RSS feed go to all the other players. But again, I kind of stopped following the guides and my intuition because I got scared. And so I sunk back into conditioned behavior and started kind of listening to what other people, were saying, or even, what my conditioned part of my brain was saying. So I'm trying to get back on track. And the solo retreat last week was just a huge help for me to do that. I had already stepped away from social media quite some time ago. I was still on Facebook, but only for my bigger sobriety group. And I had also been asked to post weekly for another smaller women's recovery group to post on astrology. Uh, but I really didn't see that the relationship, I guess you can call it that, with Zuckerberg and Facebook, that there was anything there for me. And I felt just completely not aligned with that. I hadn't been on Instagram really. I still had an account, but I closed those out. And then I also haven't had TV for at least a year. And that's another funny story where Spirit just kind of killed my TV, and there's no reason it shouldn't be working, but it doesn't. So I haven't had that for about a year. So I'm definitely moving into maybe a different phase for a while, where I will be doing just, a lot more writing. I already do a lot, but I'm really feeling called to write more of the messages that I receive, and then do the contemplation and the reflection about uh, what we do with those messages, how we can use them to connect with one another and ourselves, our souls, and the universe. And so I've already been doing some of that, of course, because, my guides kind of made me. So I've been doing some of that already on Substack, where every day I've been drawing a tarot or an oracle card, and I just uh, kind of receive almost a haiku or an inspired, little image or something that I turn into a haiku. So I've been doing that Monday through Friday, and then I've also started recently on Sundays. I do a weekly 3 card spread with a haiku that comes through for that. So those go out on notes, and anyone who is following me on Substack would see those in their notes feeds. And then on Mondays, I do a post that is, I would say, just a blend of a personal essay. Um, and then I have, for paid subscribers, I have that 3 card spread that I release on Sunday. But what I do is go in depth and really pull out the different meanings and the messages, and some invitations to practices for that week. And I've personally, because I'm part of the collective too, I've been following those, and it's been so helpful to me. And I want to say I've only been doing that for maybe a month or so. Um, and let's see, the other thing, just looking on my notes here. Um, Personally, I just, when I made my vision board, I really just went by intuition. I didn't do it in a kind of a left brain planning mode. Um, and so anyway, I had clipped all these images of trees, and forest and trails and things, and I didn't really understand why, but other than, of course, I love trees and trails and being outside. If you've listened to all of these, I was an ultra marathoner for years, and I just loved being in the mountains. And now I realize probably the trees were supporting me and just like soothing me while I was out there. However, uh, strangely, when I was feeling that call to do the solo retreat, and really, like, Spirit gave me 4 huge synchronicities in the space of a week. So when I started Googling, the first image I saw of this monastery, that's only about maybe 45 miles from my house or so, maybe even less. It had all these trees that just looked like what I had cut out on my vision board. So all that to say, I feel the trees are calling me, and I'll be doing more solo retreats, maybe every other month or something, even if it's just for a night, to receive messages out there. There's something magical out in this place, and then also just maybe, being out there a little more when things start blooming, to learn more about my local flora, because I'm also continuing my herbalism studies, and I want to just to start doing some more research and development, I'm really enjoying making the tinctures and the salves, and I want to empower others in the community with that information, and start. I'm not an expert, but all you need to do to mentor or teach is, to have that willingness to share what you do know, and there will be people who are interested and come to you. And I've already had some people, my son, who has done some work with migrant workers and people who don't have homes to live in, and has asked about maybe teaching his little group to make salves so that they can hand those out to people who are not, in shelters or homes for the time being, because those salves can heal, any wounds that they have on their skin, or, things like that. So anyway, off on a tangent, but I may be back, at some point. So this, as far as I know, the content lives on, and it'll be there. And also, I've moved a lot of it into writing onto my Substack, which, now that they have that nifty audio player, you can listen to like a podcast. Um, and I also want to give a shout out to people who have been just listening on YouTube without, I haven't posted video, but there are people who just listen to it there. And I so appreciate you as well. Um, I also want to leave you with some other podcasts that you might be interested in if you don't follow me over on Substack, which I hope you do, because it's a different place. It's not like Facebook or Instagram, or even YouTube. It's really kind of a magical place. And of course, it's not perfect. With, rainbows and unicorns, but you can really find connection, you can find depth, because it really was started, for writers, which is how I found it. But now there's all kinds of things on there. It's awesome. So anyway, other podcasts, the ones that I listen to every week are really, I would say, for astrology, just one now, and that's Big Sky Astrology with April Elliott Kent. She's amazing, and she always highlights the moon and the energy that is coming in there, which I think is just such a good way to learn astrology, because the moon changes signs so frequently. The other one I love is about monthly, and that is Things That Make You Go Woo. And that's by my friend Emily, of Emily and Her Stars. And she does like the monthly forecast, and her co-host provides the tarot readings for the month, and that's awesome. And then also, if you want to go into archives, and you like other woo, I really love Past Lives in the Divine. That kind of started me on the hypnosis journey, but she has a huge archive, 5 years worth, and she just retired her podcast last year. And in fact, coming full circle, she named me, and she read one of my quotes on her ending podcast, which was like made me so ecstatic. And so that's Past Lives in the Divine with Gina Sear. I think that's all I have to say. I really appreciate you. You please reach out to me if you want to. info@marialuz.online. I think there's still a text option in Buzzsprout that I don't believe anyone's ever used, so I don't really check it, but maybe I will. And I hope to see you over on Substack at Maria Luz O'Rourke, or you can search for Astrology, Alchemy, and Honest Recovery. I wish you the best, and you are now empowered to be consciously curious about whatever the heck you want to. Love you. Bye.